What if TikTok or YouTube were ordered to delete their algorithm? Some say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. The FTC is alleging that Weight Watchers used a dieting app aimed at kids to illegally gather data on children. Now, let's overlook the fact that a dieting app aimed at 8 to 17-year-olds is literally the work of the devil. And it's not just me saying that. When the app was released, 114,000 people signed a petition to get it banned. And lots of articles were published at the time saying that this dieting app is hard to swallow. The medical professionals entered the chat with a clinical report that showed that dieting and weight talk are dangerous and not helpful for adolescents. It's also not a great look that when you sign up, one of the health target options was make parents happy. That question could only be asked to teenagers. Everybody over the age of 20 knows that it's near impossible to make your parents happy, let alone proud. So I think we're all on board with letting kids be chubby if they need to be chubby, and an app is not going to help teenagers with clinical diet or weight issues get into a healthier state. Hashtag dieting is not always healthy, hashtag let kids be chubby, hashtag like and subscribe to this video if you haven't already, you monster. Putting that aside, the FTC is claiming that the diet app, Kurbo, illegally gathered information from children as young as 8 years old, including their names, email addresses, and birth dates, without their parents' consent. The registration page had two options. I am a parent, signing up first so I can support my child through the Kurbo program, and I am at least 13 years old and I can use the app for myself without parental supervision. The FTC's complaint said, while theoretically intended to screen users under the age of 14 from registering without the assistance of their parent, this non-neutral age signalled to children that they could register without having to involve their parent by indicating they were at least 13 years old. As a result, hundreds of children under the age of 13 lied during their registration. So some kids lied about their age online. I've been doing that for hundreds of years. Why does it even matter? Well, I'm glad you asked, me in a hat. A federal judge in California approved a settlement order that required Weight Watchers and Kurbo to pay a $1.5 million penalty, delete sensitive health data, and destroy any algorithms derived from that data. That last bit caught my eye. Usually, it's easier to teach a horse to eat jelly with a knife than it is to get a social media app to take accountability. Fines only go so far with billion-dollar companies. If they're allowed to continue trading, they can make back that money with data and algorithms pretty fucking quickly. Pretty much every website or app relies on algorithms to customize the sheer volume of data and content they have on their servers. Which makes sense, but this might be the first case of legally enforced algorithmic destruction.
Here comes the science bit.
Once an algorithmic model has been created and trained, the original dataset isn't the issue anymore.
Once more for the people at the back.
There are countless examples online of algorithms reflecting social biases. Here's a whole book on it. The original dataset doesn't matter, but the algorithm that's trained on it does. The data isn't going to do anything, it just sits there, but the algorithm that was trained on it will go off into the world. So it does matter what was in the data at that point and if it was ethically sourced. Think of it like this. People born into cults have been given information and programmed in a way to live their lives. If we take them out of the cult, they don't just immediately forget what they've been taught. In fact, it could take a lifetime to unlearn it, if they ever do. This could also set a precedent that companies like Facebook, who have toyed around with the idea of making Instagram for kids, full video on that link below, could be asked to delete any data or algorithms they've created using data they took without consent. TikTok's success has been built off an algorithm that's stickier than Pooh Bear's hand after an hour in the honeypot, so it could impact all social media sites that have taken data without our consent. And as I always say, if you can't understand the terms of service, are you really consenting to them? All of this is coming at the same time when some social media sites are promising to give us a chronological version of our newsfeed. Preemptive strike? Or listening to their customers? Who knows? Small update, gang. Instagram has given us chronological timelines. So to answer the age-old question, who watches the watchers? Today we discovered it's the Federal Trade Commission. Whose side are you on? Weight Watchers or the FTC? I'd love to know all your thoughts on this and the future of algorithms in the comments below. This isn't just a video, it's a conversation.